Press the right button. Yes. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, to everyone viewing at home or listening on the radio. We are back once more, this time to recap and actually just now close off this meeting with respect to the recount. So I want to update everybody on, just very briefly, on the results of the recount. Let me first go through some of the districts that we saw change. As everybody knows, we ended up doing a full recount. Initially, we had intended as a voting bureau, because of discrepancies that we had found in the PVs, to recount 7 of the 20 districts, and then we had decided that across all 20 districts, we would recount all the invalid votes. However, upon our recount of those districts and the invalid votes, more specifically, I'll go into with respect to district number 3, that is the St. Martin Senior Citizen Recreational Center, along with district number 5, the Dutch Quarter Community Center. In those 2 districts, we did encounter discrepancies that we did not initially expect to encounter. However, we were able to reconcile the numbers in these districts to an extent that brought us sufficient comfort to be able to establish an election result today. However, we did want to note, in the sake of transparency, of course, we will note all the measures in our own report of what transpired during our recount process and what we found. And we do want to note, for the sake of transparency, that any particular findings that we found, that we will note these and bring them to the attention of the relevant authorities. And then it is, of course, for them to do with that information what they want or what they will, and whether or not any investigations take place. However, again, today we will be establishing an election result, and we do, as a voting bureau, have sufficient comfort in the numbers that we've been able to reconcile. And I think that's pretty much it, just to kind of recap there. I did want to briefly go into some of the changes that we saw. So in district number 1, John Larmeny, we saw a change in the invalid votes. For the SAM party, there were no changes. For the National Alliance, no changes. For the ECE, no changes. For the Democratic Party, no changes. For the OMC, no changes. For the NOW, no changes. For the UP party, we saw a change in votes for candidate number 7. We saw a change in votes for candidate number 8. And that was it. Their party total remained the same, however, unless one of the invalid votes changed. But all of these numbers you will be able to find online in the next 20 minutes when they will be uploaded by DCOM after this meeting. For the PFP, no changes. URSM, no changes. And then that is that. For the district number 2, which is the Sundial School, there was no change in invalid votes, no change for the SAM, no change for National Alliance, no change for ECE, as well for nothing for DP, nothing for OMC, nothing for the NOW. We did see some slight changes again between candidate number 7 and candidate number 8 on the UP party list. Nothing for PFP, nothing for URSM. Then we have district number 3, the St. Martin Senior Citizen Recreational Center. We saw a change in the invalid votes, no change for the SAM party, 1 change for the candidate number 4, Marlin, on the National Alliance list, nothing for ECE, nothing for DP, nothing for OMC, nothing for NOW. And then for the UP, we saw a slight change for candidate number 3, Arundel, and also for candidate number 6, Chatelier, and also candidate number 11, Charlie. Then nothing for PFP, nothing for URSM. Then for district number 4, the Sister Marie Laurence, sorry, 1 second. Then we saw a change in the invalid votes. No changes in the SAM party candidates or their list or their totals. No change for the National Alliance. Nothing for ECE. Nothing for the Democratic Party. Nothing for OMC. For the NOW party, we saw a change for candidate number 1 and candidate number 3. Then we also have nothing for district number 4 for the UP party. Nothing for PFP, and nothing for URSM. Then district number 5, the Dutch Quarter Community Center, we saw no changes in the invalid votes that were reported on election night. No change for the party or candidate totals for the SAM. No change for the party or candidate totals for the National Alliance. No change for the ECE. For the Democratic Party, we saw a change between candidate number 1 and candidate number 2. Party total remained the same. For the OMC, no changes. For the NOW, no changes. For the UP Party, no changes. For the PFP, no changes. For URSM, no changes. Then we have district number 6, which was the Milton Peters College. We did see a change in the invalid votes there, but we saw no change in the candidate totals or the party totals for the SAM, for National Alliance, for ECE, for the Democratic Party. We did have one change for candidate number 15, C. Barron. For the OMC, no changes. For the NOW, we had a change for candidate number 1, Emmanuel. Then for the UP Party, no changes. For the PFP, no changes. For the URSM, no changes. Then we see for district number 7, which was the Rupert Maynard Community Center, we saw a change in the invalid votes. For the SAM Party, we saw a change for candidate number 1, Myers. We saw a change for the National Alliance for candidate number 7, York. No change for the ECE. No change for the Democratic Party. No change for OMC. No change for NOW. No change. Nope. For the UP Party, we had a change for candidate number 1, Otley, and that was it. And was I in the right district? 7, right? Rupert Maynard, I looked at the wrong one. Yep. So we had a change in District 7 for candidate number 1, Otley, candidate number 3, Arundel, and candidate number 10, Christina Sorton. And then for the PFP, we had a change for candidate number 2, Peterson, and candidate number 3, DeWeaver. No changes for the URSM. That brings us then to district number 8. District number 8, we did see a change in the invalid votes. However, no changes for the SAM Party. For the National Alliance, we saw a change for candidate number 2, Doran, and candidate number 4, Marlin. No changes for the ECE. No changes for the Democratic Party. No changes for OMC. No changes for the NOW. We had no changes. No, St. Martin Academy, 8. We had one change for candidate number 6. For the UP Party, one change for candidate number 1, Otley. And for the PFP, we saw a change for candidate number 1, Gums. For the URSM, a change for candidate number 11, Hutchinson. Then we move on to district number 9, which is the Butte Hotel. We saw changes in the invalid votes, no changes for the SAM Party, no changes for the National Alliance, no changes for ECE. For the Democratic Party, also no changes. For the OMC, no changes. For the NOW, no changes. For the UP Party, also no changes. No changes for PFP. And we had one change for the URSM for candidate number 1. Then in district number 10, we have the NEPA. We saw a change in the invalid votes. There were no changes for SAM, no changes for the National Alliance, no changes for ECE. For the Democratic Party, we have a change for candidate number 1, candidate number 2, and candidate number 3.
Number 9.
Oh. Sorry, I was looking at the number. Candidate number 9, Carla is correct. Then nothing for OMC, nothing for the Now, nothing for Up. No, one, sorry. Oh, wait, NEPA, sorry. Candidate number 1, Otley, we did see a change in the votes there. And PFP, nothing. URSM, we have 1 for candidate number 11. We saw a change at the NEPA. Then we have polling station number 11, Charles Leopold Bell. There were no changes in that polling station. District number 12, the Leonard Connor, I believe also no changes, just verifying. Yep. No changes. Then district number 13, the Simpson Bay Sports Community Center, I believe there were also no changes. Nothing. Yes, for the district number 13, we saw a change for candidate number 2, Bunkamper, and candidate number 4, Gittins, on the Now party list. And that was it. Yes. Then district number 14, which is the Belvedere Community Center, we saw a change in the invalid votes. No changes for the SAM party. Then we saw a change for candidate number 7 on the National Alliance list. We saw no changes for ECE, no changes for the Democratic Party, none for OMC, none for the Now. We saw 1 change for candidate number 1, Otley, on the Up party list. Is that the right one? Okay. Then we saw changes for candidates number 3 and 4 on the PFP list. And we saw a change for candidate number 1 on the URSM list. Then we go on to district number 15, which is the Melford Hazel Sports and Recreational Center. We saw a change in the invalid votes, no changes for SAM. We saw 1 change for candidate number 9 on the National Alliance list. No changes for the ECE. For the Democratic Party, we have a change for candidates number 14 and 15. Nothing for OMC. Nothing for Now. Nothing for the Up. Nothing for PFP. Then we saw 1 change for the URSM for candidate number 7, Brugge, and candidate number 13, Stamen Yao. Then we have district number 16, which is the MAC. We saw a change in the invalid votes, no changes for the SAM, no changes for NA, nothing for ECE. For the Democratic Party, we saw a change for candidates number 1, 2, and 5. Nothing for OMC. Nothing for Now. Nothing for the Up. For PFP, we have 1 change for candidate number 1. We have nothing for URSM. Then district number 17, the Dutch Quarter Community Help Desk. We saw there was no changes in the invalid votes. I actually don't think anything changed for anybody. Confirming. There were no changes for District 17 for any of the parties or for the invalid votes. Then we have the Seventh-day Adventist School, which is district number 18. We saw a change in the invalid votes. Then we saw a change for candidate number 1 on the National Alliance list. And we saw, I believe, no further changes. No other changes for that district. Then we have the House of Detention. There were no changes in the House of Detention. That is district number 19 and district number 20, the St. Martin home. There were also no changes. So that was the outcome of the complete recounts that we ended up doing. The law provides that I need to actually close this meeting and adjourn it briefly and then open a new meeting, but I believe it will be in the same live stream. So I'm going to briefly adjourn this meeting for 1 minute and then reopen a new meeting in which I will announce the official election results and then the new number, the correct and official numbers for this election will be posted online within the next couple minutes as well, so everyone viewing at home can go visit those results, and also for the media. So I will briefly adjourn this meeting right now, and we'll be back with you in another minute or so. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this meeting of the Central Voting Bureau, which is convened in accordance with Article 94 of the Electoral Ordinance. During this meeting, we will announce the official election results of the election of August 19th, was it? Yes. 2024. Before that, I want to again take a moment to congratulate everyone that took part in this election. I'd also like to take a moment to thank everybody that played a role in us being able to carry out this election, from the staff of the Civil Registry to the staff of KPSM, to the staff of Parliament, to my fellow members of the Voting Bureau, to the staff of GBE, also to GBE for making countless donations to us for the election that made it possible, for us to ensure that there were fans, that there were emergency lights, that they were able to keep the power on during those crucial hours, to the callers that sat here in Parliament the entire day and fielded calls and took in numbers and election results, to our data analyst who sat with us not only the entire day on the election day until early into the morning, but also through the entire recount as well. So Janon, thank you very much. And she even came out today to sit and keep us company. I also want to thank the staff of DCOM. I don't know if I already thanked the staff of Parliament, but I would like to thank you guys all again too, because they make all these facilities available to us and ensure that everybody is here with us at all times. And KPSM also provided us, with additional support over the past days, and of course with the election itself. And I think that none of us have felt unsafe at any point or are worried about our safety. So we thank all those guys as well for making those long hours and putting in the long shifts. I also want to congratulate and thank all the eligible voters who came out and cast their vote on election day. And, I think our democracy is still very much alive and kicking. And while we had a lower turnout than we did in January, I think we still came out in strong numbers. And I think it makes the work that we do valuable and worth it, that people come out and actually exercise that right that we have to vote. So again, thank you everybody, and thank you to the parties for keeping it civil over the past couple of weeks as well. We've, I think at least looking at the atmosphere and everything around the polling stations, I think that there was much better, vibe compared to January. And I think that it was, that we had less complaints from the polling station workers and things like that. So thanks guys for keeping it clean, and thank you for cooperating with us and making our jobs a little bit easier. Then on to the official results, because, we spent the past couple of days here counting and again, as our job as the Central Voting Bureau is to ensure that there is transparency and trust in our electoral process, where, I think there's always room for improvement, but as a Central Voting Bureau, we're happy with the way that this election went. And we've definitely seen an improvement since January, but of course nothing is perfect, and we have taken note of all the different suggestions that we've gotten and all the feedback that we've received, and we'll take them into our improvement plans. And definitely debrief and sit with the Ministry of General Affairs and the Civil Registry Department and all other relevant stakeholders and look at how we can improve on this experience and the process for both the parties and all the entire population of St. Martin and the voting population of St. Martin going forward in our next election, which please let's let it be over in 4 years. Because, yeah, I think we have a lot of love for country, guys, but don't ask us to do it again too soon. So that all being said, I have also had a call with the governor earlier this morning and have also informed him of the outcome of the election. And he has received all the official numbers. So with that being said, and since we've taken care of those formalities, I can now go over to establishing the official election result for the parliamentary election of August 19th, 2024. So what I will do is I will start, of course, with the seat allocation and total number of votes, and then go on to the candidates who were selected or who will now be receiving a seat in Parliament should they so accept. So in total, there were a total amount of valid votes cast of 13,696. This brings our electoral quota to 913.07. The seat allocation will be, so I'll go through the total valid votes. The SAM party received a total amount of valid votes of 1,250 votes. The National Alliance received a total valid votes of 2,262. The ECE received a total valid votes of 136. The Democratic Party received total valid votes of 2,071. The OMC received a total number of valid votes of 521. The Now Party received total amount of valid votes of 1,243. The UP Party received a total number of valid votes of 2,043. The PFP received a total number of valid votes of 1,946. And the URSM received a total amount of valid votes of 2,224. This leads to the following seat allocation also after the distribution of residual seats. So the total seat distribution will be as follows. The SAM party will receive 1 seat. The National Alliance will receive 3 seats. The Democratic Party will receive 3 seats. The Now Party will receive 1 seat. The UP Party will receive 2 seats. The PFP will receive 2 seats. And the URSM will receive 3 seats. We saw no change in the seat allocation after the complete recount. Then the following candidates have been earmarked or designated for seats so far. Once again, they of course must accept these seats. However, these are the following. Franklin Myers of the SAM Party with 417 votes. Egbert Gerendi Duran of the National Alliance with 360 votes. Daryl York of the National Alliance with 311 votes. Artwell Irian of the National Alliance with 305 votes. For the Democratic Party, we have Grisha Heiliger-Martin with 480 votes. We have Sarah Westcott Williams with 386 votes. And we have Viren Kotai with 338 votes. For the Now Party, the candidate selected is Lyndon Constantine Lewis Jr. with 446 votes. For the UP Party, the candidates selected are Omar Otley with 669 votes and Francisco La Cruz with 236 votes. For the PFP, the candidates selected are Ludmila De Wever with 690 votes and Melissa Gomes with 348 votes. For the URSM, the candidates are Luc Mercelina with 1,317 votes, Richenel Brug with 230 votes, and Shamira Roosburg with 208 votes. In the coming days, the law requires that the Central Voting Bureau will send letters to these candidates and inform them that they have been nominated for a seat in Parliament, that they've received a seat in Parliament as a result of the election. Once these candidates, of course, confirm this, then we move through with that process administratively behind the scenes. Off the top of my head, the new Parliament will come together on September 20th. So on September 20th, we'll have the eerste samenkomst of the nieuwe staten. And, of course, then behind the scenes, we will work with these new candidates as a Central Voting Bureau to provide them with all the relevant documentation that they need for their geloofsbrieven. So that's it for us in terms of public meetings and election results. So once again, I would like to thank everyone that was involved and my members for putting in the hard work and the long hours, and all the relevant stakeholders and other individuals that made it possible for us to shine, I guess, and for us to do our job, because without all of you, we wouldn't be able to carry all of this out. So thank you all again, and thank you for your trust in us and for your trust in the democratic process. Until the next election, that's it for the Central Voting Bureau for now. From a public meeting perspective, I wish everyone a pleasant day further, and I congratulate once again all the parties and all the candidates on the outcome of this election.